The global attention since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war has been drawn towards a catastrophic humanitarian condition in the Gaza Strip. At least 700 Palestinian civilians have been killed in the past 24 hours as hostilities from Israel have intensified after the 7-day temporary truce expired on Friday morning. Hamas, in the meantime, has said that the talks of captive and prisoner swap will not move ahead until Israel stops its onslaught on Gaza. Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal expresses assurance regarding financial and technical assistance in combating climate change. Genuine physically challenged population denied identity cards due to lack of access face hard time to avail state facilities. At least 700 Palestinians reported dead in the past 24 hours as Israel faces growing U.S. calls to avoid further harm to Palestinian civilians, with the warring sides showing no sign of relenting. And Butwal Lumini stunned Ilam FC with a late goal to register their first win in the Nepal Super League as they win 2-1. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal informed that he had drawn the attention of the international community towards ensuring climate finance and justice to Nepal. Speaking at a press conference held at the Tribhuvan International Airport this evening upon his arrival after attending the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or COP28, held in Dubai, UAE, Prime Minister Dahal claimed that Nepal was successful in advocating on its rights this time around. Premier Dahal stated that United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has put Nepal in the priority list and assured that financial and technical assistance would arrive in Nepal. Dahal also informed that Nepal had led the issue on the effects of climate change on the mountains. He also said that he urged the global community at the convention to commit to limiting global temperature rise. Dahal also informed that he had stressed on quickly providing financial investment and technological help to the communities that are at risk. During the COP28 convention, Prime Minister Dahal also attended a session today on delivering early warnings for all. Speaking at the session, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres stated that collaboration between governments and between countries and companies is needed to drive down emissions and to protect everyone on Earth with an effective early warning system by 2027. During the COP28 convention today, the report regarding the criteria of the risk of Melamchi River was made public. Meanwhile, the Asian Development Bank will be providing assistance for climate and disaster risk identification and management of the Hindu Kush Himalayan region. Likewise, the Asian Development Bank also announced of extending technical assistance on extended research on the floods and earthquakes caused by the glacial lake outbursts in Nepal and Bhutan. A dispute has emerged regarding the number of physically challenged population in the country. The national census showed the number to be 650,000, even as the Association of Physically Challenged claimed the number to be around 3 million. Sindhupalchok Chautara's Rewati Karki has 2 dwarf children with about 3 feet in height. Rewati took rounds of the municipality to make the handicapped identity cards. However, she had to settle for a level 3 identity card, which prevents the ID holder from availing any state facilities. The government has only classified individuals with less than 3 feet in height as fully disabled. They receive a red ID card categorized under level B and are entitled to monthly Social Security allowance of 3,490 rupees. Those classified under category B with blue ID card are entitled to receive 2,167 rupees of monthly allowance. Both the children of Rewati Karki do not avail of state facilities, as many physically challenged have lodged their complaints at the Federation of Physically Challenged. The national census conducted 2 years ago had put the number of physically challenged at just over 600,000, while the Federation claims that 10% of the population, that comes to about 3 million, have one or the other form of disability. The Constitution of the country has enshrined education, health, social security, employment as basic fundamental rights of the physically challenged community. However, the handicapped community has not been able to freely avail of the state facilities. In our Public Voice segment today, we have asked people in several provinces what should be done to facilitate public service to physically challenged people. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
सबैलाई जुन सेवा सुविधा चाहिरहेको हुन्छ त्यो भन्दा बढी उहाँहरुलाई अटेन्सन चाहिन्छ
छुट्टै एउटा लाइनको व्यवस्था गरिदिनु पर्यो
यस्तो ठाउँ होस् जहाँ कि अपाङ्गहरुको लागि नै व्यवस्था होस्
सिल्वा पेशहरुमा छुट्टै लाइन लगाइदिनु होला
अनलाइन मार्फत त्यो सेवा सुविधा दिने व्यवस्था गर्नुपर्छ
संरचनाहरु चाहिँ सरकारले चाहिँ अपाङ्ग मैत्री बनाउन चाहिँ निर्देशन चाहिँ एकदम जोडकतोड दिनु पर्यो
संविधानले दिएको हक अधिकार चाहिँ अक्षरशः कार्यान्वयन हुनबित्तिकै उहाँहरुको चाहिँ सेवा सुविधा अझ राम्रो
सार्वजनिक निकायका संरचना पहुँचयुक्त हुनुपर्छ
अपाङ्गता भन्ने सिट चाहिँ लेखिएको हुन्छ तर त्यहाँ माथि त्योसम्म कसरी चढ्ने भन्ने कुरा पनि हामीले देख्न पाइरहेका छैनौं
डिसेबल्ड भन्छौं नि हामी डिफरेन्टली एबल बोल्नु पर्ने हो के त्यो भावनात्मक सन्देश दिन सक्नुपर्छ
मेयर उपमेयर माथि हुनुहुन्छ भनेपछि त्यहाँ लगेर साइन गराइदिने सहयोगी चाहिन्छ
अपाङ्ग मैत्री भवन बनाउनु पर्यो
यातायातका साधनहरु सबै अपाङ्ग मैत्री हुनु पर्यो
अपाङ्ग मैत्री भौतिक संरचना हुनु पर्यो
अपाङ्ग मैत्री सिरीको तल त्यो पनि बनाउनु पर्छ सबै अफिसहरुमा
हस्पिटलहरुमा फेरि हुनु पर्यो
Volunteers are being used for the construction of the temporary shelters for the earthquake victims in Salyan. 400 volunteers are helping in the construction of structures that were completely destroyed by the earthquake in Dharma-Rur municipality. The municipality has informed that 400 volunteers from Red Cross and various political parties have been utilized to construct 1,000 temporary shelters within the next 2 months. Likewise, the volunteers will also construct 600 toilets, ward office, health post, and a temporary structure for the school that were damaged by the earthquake. 1,179 houses were completely damaged in Dharma-Rur municipality by the earthquake. Volunteers also arrived in Salyan from Kalikot to construct these shelters. The Election Commission has set 8th of January next month for candidate registration for the upcoming National Assembly elections to be held on 25th of January next month. Issuing a notice today, the Commission said it has set the date for candidate registration on 8th of January from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Election Commission informed complaints against candidates can be filed on 9th of January and the list of candidates will be published on 11th of January. Candidates can withdraw their candidacy by 2 p.m. on 12th of January and the final list of candidates will be published on the same day. Likewise, the Election Commission said it will provide election symbols to candidates on 13th of January from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. The Commission informed that the voting process will take place on 25th of January from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. and vote counting will start right after that. The price of gold recorded its highest ever in the Nepali market today. The Gold and Silver Dealers Association said that the gold was traded in the market today for 120,800 rupees per tola, which is 11.7 grams. The gold price on Friday had closed at 119,000 rupees, registering an increase by 1,800 rupees when the market opened today. Likewise, the association said that the Tejabi gold, which is 22 karat gold, was traded at 120,200 rupees. With the onset of the Nepali month of Mangshir, also considered a wedding season, the price of gold has recorded a steep rise, even as dealers are saying that the price of gold is adjusted as per its price in the international market. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, what do you term the failure in completion of the Mid-Hilly Highway even in 15 years? 38% voted for A, irresponsible contractors, 16% voted for B, inadequate budget, and 46% voted for C, lapses in coordination. Here's today's question. What's your take on the near closure situation of Singadarbar Vaidekhana? Your options are A, political interference, B, managerial incompetence, and C, financial crisis. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the international update. Israel faced growing U.S. calls to avoid further harm to Palestinian civilians in its fight against Hamas militants in Gaza, as the warring sides have showed no sign of moving toward reviving their collapsed truce. International media have reported that at least 700 Palestinians have been killed in the past 24 hours, as Israel has intensified attacks since the 7-day pause ended on Friday morning. As Israeli forces pounded the enclave after the breakdown of a truce, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin deemed it a moral responsibility and strategic imperative for Israel to protect civilians. Austin weighed in with perhaps his strongest comments yet on Israel's need to protect civilians in Gaza. Speaking in Dubai, Harris said Israel had a right to defend itself, but international and humanitarian law must be respected, and that too, many innocent Palestinians have been killed. The senior U.S. official's remarks reinforced pressure from Washington for Israel to use more caution as it shifts the focus of its military offensive further south in the besieged Gaza Strip. With renewed fighting stretching on into a third day, residents feared the air and artillery bombardment was just the prelude to an Israeli ground operation in the southern strip that would pen them into a shrinking area and possibly try to push them across into Egypt. The Israeli military posted a statement on X ordering Palestinians in the Gaza Strip to immediately evacuate half a dozen areas in and around Khan Yunis. The military's Arabic language spokesman, Avichai Adri, instructed them to move to what he described as well-known IDP or internally displaced person shelters west of the city, including south toward Rafah, and included a map highlighting the areas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel was coordinating with the U.S. and international organizations to define safe areas for Gaza civilians. The warring sides blamed each other for the collapse of the truce, during which Hamas had released hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails. Israel said it had recalled a team from Qatar, host of indirect negotiations with Hamas, accusing the Palestinian faction of reneging on a deal to free all the women and children it was holding. The deputy head of Hamas, however, said none of the people the group was holding would be exchanged with Israel unless there's a ceasefire and all Palestinian detainees in Israel are released.
Sports news.
Butol Lumini stunned Sporting Ilam FC 2-1 with a late goal as they registered the first win of the championship. In an enterprising match, both Butol Lumini and Ilam Sporting FC made a number of moves in the first half. However, some tight defense came in the way of both the teams as the first half ended goalless. The deadlock was broken immediately after the break as Stefan Binong put Lumini ahead. Ilam tried to come back into the match shortly later as they were awarded a spot kick in the 57th minute. Fode Kamara, however, missed the penalty, which was his second penalty miss in consecutive matches. Ilam finally scored the equalizer when Abdu Layaba found the net in the 79th minute. He scored off a rebound taken by Santosh Khatri. As the match looked like heading towards a draw, Buto Lumini skipper Eric scored off a free kick to give his side an exciting win and the first points of the championship. Chapa take on Kathmandu in tomorrow's match that is scheduled for 5 p.m. kickoff. The evening matches will now be played 30 minutes earlier considering the midwinter season. Nepal became the champion of the 7th edition of the South Asian Karate Championship with 29 gold medals. In the two-day meet at the National Sports Council Covered Hall in Tripureshwar, Nepal pocketed 61 medals, including 29 gold, to emerge as champions. In the event participated by 6 nations, India finished second with 25 gold medals. India also won 22 silver and 17 bronze medals. Likewise, Bangladesh won 6 gold, 7 silver and 14 bronze medals for a third position finish. Pakistan, with 21 medals, including 4 gold medals, finished in the 4th position. Sri Lanka also won 2 gold medals, while Bhutan had to settle for a single gold medal. 237 karatekas from 6 South Asian nations had participated at the two-day championship. 2 women footballers from the national squad left for India to participate in the I-League. Custodian Anjila Subba and defender Geeta Rana are the 2 players to play in the upcoming I-League. Both of these players, Subba and Rana, will play for FC Setu in the I-League. Anjila had also represented FC Setu last season, taking her team up to the semi-final. Meanwhile, star striker Sabitra Bhandari, who had featured regularly in the I-League, would not be a part of the Indian League this season, as she has been contracted by club Hapoel in Israel. 8 Nepali women had featured in the I-League last season, while there is not much time left for more players to be contracted this season. The I-League with 7 clubs kicks off from 8th of December this Friday. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.